May 2nd, Saturday, 7:34. My attempt to return on the sly ended in absolute failure. That was a failure, Otonashi-san murmurs as we walk towards the station. We left the motorcycle near my house. Indeed, I concur with a sigh. My mom caught me right at the foot of the stairs. Of course, a sermon followed. I can't blame her, though. She had every right to get angry at me since I stayed out overnight without permission. I can't blame her, but as I meekly listened to the lecture, Otonashi-san naturally became tired of waiting outside. Unsurprisingly, Mom concluded that the sudden appearance of Otonashi-san was the reason for my delinquency, and began to stare at her. To my surprise, Otonashi-san reacted with a soft smile and said the following. It's not like Kazuki was out enjoying the nightlife of partying. He was together with me the entire time until the morning. I didn't bring any other people to my room. We were completely alone, so please be at ease. That's just pouring oil on the fire in such a situation, isn't it? My mom, still far from letting go of her children, froze so completely she almost seemed pitiful. Otonashi-san totally misunderstood the situation and continued with a frown. As I said, Kazuki didn't go out anywhere and just slept in my room. That's totally acceptable, right? But I did have to get a bit rough, though. So my apologies. Mom silently glanced at my wrist. Reddened marks left by the handcuffs still remained. She collapsed at that point. As Otonashi-san leapt forward to hold her up, she finally understood with an, "Ah, I see. We are a boy and a girl in our teens, huh? How can I face her from now on?" As I remember that scene, I sigh deeply. What are you talking about? Huh? Didn't you say that was a failure just now? Yeah, I was talking about the motorcycle. The bike? Yeah. She's on a totally different page. I gave you a ride on the motorcycle, right? If I count Yuhei Ishihara, that's technically 2 rides. That's what I'm referring to. Huh? Why? Try imagining what might have happened if Kazuki Hoshino and Yuhei Ishihara switched places while riding. I wouldn't be surprised if you let go of my waist and fell, similar to how you were surprised by the handcuffs. Ah. So that's why she left the motorcycle in front of my home. By my standards, that's quite a careless failure. I'll be more careful from now on. Yeah. By the way, Otonashi-san, could you tell me now what happened while you were with Yuhei Ishihara? As soon as I ask, Otonashi-san stops and looks at me, expressionlessly. Huh? Why such a face? She opens her mouth, still expressionless. I cannot tell you what happened. Why? Didn't I tell you that already? She explains and spits out her next few words with a cold look. I won't trust you anymore. She did tell me. I indeed remember those words. I mean, there's no way I'd forget. But, I mean, isn't that no longer the case? After all, there's no mystery anymore. Otonashi-san now understands the reason for my previously inexplicable behavior. Don't make assumptions. You still don't get it, do you? First off, Yuhei Ishihara could have been lying. Maybe he does in fact have full access to your memories as Kazuki Hoshino, and can use both of those personalities for his benefit. That's ridiculous! Indeed, I might be overthinking things, but there's still no proof to the contrary. But let's assume that Yuhei Ishihara was completely honest about the characteristics of the box. Even so, Otonashi-san suddenly claps her hands, causing me to instinctively shut my eyes. Now, assume that an identity swap occurred in that instant. I have no means to rule this out, so I would be talking to you as Kazuki Hoshino, not realizing that you actually switch to being Yuhei Ishihara. We don't know when you switch identity, so I might inadvertently disclose an important plan to Yuhei Ishihara. That's why it's dangerous for me to tell you anything, or everything. It's basically analogs to the situation with the motorcycle. I mean, indeed, that's right, but I am Kazuki Hoshino. Here's another example. You consider yourself Kazuki Hoshino, right? Of course I do. But what if you were just someone who convinced that he is Kazuki Hoshino? That's impossible, is what I was about to say. But then I stay silent. What is there that proves I'm really Kazuki Hoshino? my appearance, my personality, my memory? But then what makes Yuhei Ishihara? After all, he also exists in the same body. No, that's wrong. I am Kazuki Hoshino. I'm not mistaken. I will absolutely not doubt this. That was just an example. Don't dwell too much on it. But Kazuki, you understand why I can't trust you, right? I have yet to comprehend this box. The 7 Night in Mud. Until then, I can't trust the personalities that dwell within you. So when will she fully grasp this 7 Night in Mud and start trusting me again? Not while Yuhei Ishihara dwells within me, right? She doesn't trust me. Even though Otonashi-san is supposedly my ally doesn't trust me? The train station comes into view. I halt. Why are you just standing there? There's not much time left before the train arrives. Why should I go to school? Being with Otonashi-san made me completely forget about that problem. Normally, I would, of course, go to school. No, even if I were involved in affairs that stood between me and my everyday life, I would still go, just to express my defiance. As things currently stand, however, the more time I spend at school, the more I'm going to erode my, by this point, practically non-existent place there. To collect information about Yuhei Ishihara. There's no doubt that he is closely related to us in some sort or manner. In the first place, only our school students have contact with both you and me. The importance of collecting information from our school should be obvious. But there's no need for me to be present, is there? Your presence greatly modifies the prevailing conditions. Today is the last day of school before the long holiday. We mustn't let this opportunity escape, she says. She said that in order to obtain the box, she doesn't care if my everyday life gets destroyed. I misunderstood her. I considered her an unconditional ally, but that's not correct. I mean, Otonashi-san isn't working to help save me, but in order to find O and obtain a box. So, what am I to her? Most likely, just bait for O. Kazuki, I understand that going to school must be depressing, but you realize that this is the optimal course of action, don't you? Refraining from action while aware of your options isn't like you, Otonashi-san says to me reprovingly. Surely she's just pursuing her own goals. Otonashi-san doesn't trust me. However, since I'm not able to see Yuhei Ishihara, or to directly oppose him, I need to depend on a supporter. And she's the only person who comes to mind. To trust a supporter in this situation is effectively entrusting her with my life. I have no other choice but to blindly believe in her. If Otonashi-san wanted to ruin me, she could entrap me without difficulty. What should I do at school? But still, she's the only supporter I have. Let's see. For example, she proposes various possibilities, all of which I agree to. As anticipated, she easily comes up with a number of effective plans, but her very facility is what I'm worried about if she were to betray me. Do you also have something in mind? One thing does occur to me. How about changing what we call each other? What do you mean? Instead of Otonashi-san, I'm going to call you Aya from now on. Yuhei Ishihara doesn't know that name, so he definitely won't call you that. Therefore, calling you Aya proves that I'm me. How does that sound? Otonashi-san remains quiet. Is this plan a non-starter? No, I think it's quite effective. Let's try it. She agrees, though still slightly displeased for some reason. But still, Aya Otonashi, huh? Aya Otonashi was the name of an illusion that doesn't exist within our daily life. Furthermore, it was once the name of my enemy. Those were the thoughts that flashed through my mind at once. May 2nd, Saturday, 8:11. I realized that the atmosphere turned frigid as soon as Otonashi-san and I entered the classroom. Of course, no one greets me. Dai's behavior, I expect, but Haruaki doesn't say hi either. Kokone's seat is still empty. Maybe she's going to be absent today. Because of me? Of course. I guess even Otonashi-san did not expect me to be in such an awful position. She darts a sad glance at me, but then she pulls herself together, focuses on my classmates, and claps her hands twice. Listen, everyone! Our classmates' gazes focus on her immediately, probably because they were already paying attention to us. Does anyone know someone named Yuhei Ishihara? Upon hearing this, several students exchange suspicious looks. Otonashi-san said that the probability is high that the owner would be one of my classmates, since it wouldn't make sense to pursue control of an unknown person's body so far as to use a box for that purpose. I suppose she's probably right. But isn't the owner the Yusei Ishihara dwelling within me? Or does she mean that another entity exists separately from him? I don't really get it. However, for the time being, I agree that just asking the class about the name Yuhei Ishihara is reasonably effective. Hey, you! What are you up to? Miyazaki-kun addresses us while casting an awfully disdainful glance at me. You again. What? Do you know Yuhei Ishihara? Miyazaki-kun sneers at us and replies with something unrelated to Otonashi-san's question. You've got some nerve still being together like this after what you've done? What is he talking about? I look at my other classmates. Anger dwells within their eyes. Their anger is probably the result of some form of righteous indignation. In other words, they cannot forgive me for being together with Otonashi-san. What's your excuse, Hoshino? I'm stuck since I don't know why they have a problem with us being together. And I can't ask about Yuhei Ishihara or what he's done. My only choice is to remain silent. Miyazaki-kun reacts to my silence with a plastic sigh. Whatever. I won't broach this subject again. That's my view anyway. Miyazaki-kun starts saying scornfully. My mom's lover. Need some context? Yuhei Ishihara is my mom's lover. He suddenly spit it out. Miyazaki, will you tell us more about Yuhei Ishihara? Whoa, surely you realize how hard it is for me to speak about him, right? We have our reasons. Isn't my bringing up the name Yuhei Ishihara reason enough to tell me more? Miyazaki-kun frowns, but agrees ever so reluctantly with an, okay, fine. Alright. Because the subject is so delicate, he urges us to move to the corridor to continue the discussion. Alright. Well, it's not like I'm hiding anything. With these words, Miyazaki-kun begins his tale. His parents divorced during the first year of middle school because their feelings for each other had changed. Both of them found new lovers and chose to live with them instead. His mother's new partner was Yuhei Ishihara. Miyazaki-kun's mother and father didn't want to bring him into their new households since he represented their old lives. They didn't rub it in, but it was impossible to hide. And Miyazaki-kun sensed their feelings. He didn't know why his parents chose to split up and reject him, but as their son, the circumstances didn't matter. He had undoubtedly been betrayed in an almost unforgivable way. Eventually, after some argument, his father took custody of him, but it was impossible for him to build a new household with his father and his father's new lover as well. After he refused to live with them, he began to live alone in an apartment during the second year of middle school, receiving only living expenses from his father. During middle school, he considered himself to be the unluckiest person on earth. He was part of an unhappy family situation that might appear in cheap dramas, but is so seldom found in reality. Therefore, he naturally bore a grudge against his parents, who were responsible for the situation, against his father's new lover, and against Yuhei Ishihara. They should all just die if you ask me. Miyazaki-kun curses at them in an emotionless voice. I understand your feelings, but you shouldn't say such things. Why? Thank you very much for your wisdom. Miyazaki replies with a sardonic laugh. Have I said enough yet? Yes, thank you for speaking with us about this delicate matter, Otonashi-san says. That's not like you. I was just thinking that you sure have your troubles too. Thanks for the sympathy. The bell rings. Okay, I'm returning to my seat. Okay, I'm returning to my seat. Oh, and one more thing, Hoshino. As he enters the classroom, Miyazaki-kun looks at me for the first time since we started discussing Yuhei Ishihara. Don't get me wrong. Just because I answered Otonashi-san's questions doesn't mean that I accept what you've done. You've gone too far. With these words, he walks to his seat. The rest of the class favors him with smiles of approval for the vitriol he directed at me. But most likely, he deliberately waited to say his piece so that everyone else heard him. That's just cruel. I lie on my desk and cover my head with my arms. The rest of the class favors him with smiles of approval for the vitriol he directed at me. But most likely, he deliberately waited to say his piece so that everyone else heard him. That's just cruel. I lie on my desk and cover my head with my arms. Kozuki, I'll return to my own classroom. You haven't forgotten what I told you on the way here, right? Give it a go. I reluctantly raise my head, take my cell phone, and send Otonashi-san a blank email. Otonashi-san checks for the email and nods. I then erase it from my sent mail folder. Don't forget to send these emails during class. Send me an email every 10 minutes. That's what Otonashi-san instructed me to do. This way, she's able to probe the process by which I and Yuhei Ishihara switch back and forth. After all, Yuhei Ishihara isn't aware of what we're doing and won't send any blank emails. Well, since we don't fully understand the 7 Night in Mud yet, this is hardly a reliable method. Still need anything? Nope, Aya. For just a second, Otonashi-san looks astonished, but she doesn't say anything and leaves the classroom. Yuhei Ishihara is Miyazaki-kun's mother-in-law? Yuhei Ishihara is Miyazaki-kun's mother's lover. This is the person controlling my body? Somehow, it doesn't make sense that a random adult would have any interest in taking over my identity. Suddenly, my cell phone vibrates inside my pocket. I immediately take it out and open it. A new email has arrived. I open my box. The name is Maria Otonashi. Perhaps she forgot to mention something. Or was there something she couldn't say out loud? The email contains a single phrase. It's a very simple phrase, probably written with the possibility that Yuhei Ishihara might be in control of my mind. Be on guard. I see. Why was Miyazaki-kun... Why has Miyazaki-kun been interfering with us since yesterday? One reason immediately comes to mind. Because Miyazaki-kun is an ally of Yuhei Ishihara. His forceful approach may have been intended to keep Yuhei Ishihara informed of our actions. I mustn't take what Miyazaki-kun says at face value, since he might have ulterior motives. That must be what Otonashi-san was trying to convey with this email. However, while it's probably true that Yuhei Ishihara is a completely different person than that Yuhei Ishihara controlling me, I can't bring myself to discard everything Miyazaki-kun told us as nothing but lies. The feelings he demonstrated while speaking about his family situation seemed genuine. I returned my gaze to my cell phone and reread her simple email. Be distrustful. Maybe she meant something else entirely. Maybe she didn't mean be on guard when it comes to you, Miyazaki. Instead, I must regard everything and everyone that way. I can only discover what Yuhei Ishihara has done while controlling my body by hearing about it from others, but I have no one else as an ally. Not Miyazaki-kun, not Haruaki, Kokone, Daya, not even Aya Otonashi's on my side. I erase the email. I'm supposed to immediately delete any email from Aya Otonashi. I clench my fist. Why? Why don't I have a single ally when even Yuhei Ishihara has one? May 2nd, Saturday, 9:05. I'm surprised to find Kazuki Hoshino in class. I was sure he'd still be handcuffed in Maria Otonashi's room. It honestly astonishes me that he came to school despite the terrible situation he's in. Did Maria Otonashi force him to? In order to gather more information. If so, she sure has no heart. Not that I care. The outcome won't change either way. Kazuki Hoshino's everyday life is going to be destroyed regardless. After all, I arranged things so that Kazuki Hoshino's everyday life will be destroyed just by his being with Maria Otonashi. Why did I confess to Kokone Kirino? Naturally, destroy his everyday life. However, there's a proper reason why I chose a specific method. How could I forgive him for hanging around with a girl like that, when he's blessed with a lover like Maria Otonashi? Therefore, I chose to put an end to that relationship by making a confession. My method had immediately borne fruit. On top of that, the repercussions were tremendous. The confession to Kirino was far more explosive than I had expected. I got Oomine to beat me up. In fact, the comment that brought this situation to a head was not even intended to offend her. I merely said, "Hey, when do I get to hear your reply?" I simply tried to sound out the situation between us, but Kirino got shocked for some reason and broke out in tears. And Oomine overreacted and hit me. Why did that happen? I didn't understand at the time, but in retrospect it's obvious. Kazuki Hoshino and Yuhei Ishihara don't share any memories, so I don't know if Kirino had already given Kazuki Hoshino her reply to his confession when I asked her that question. However, how would she respond to those words if she had? I can't say for sure, but I bet they would hurt her feelings. However, I still don't know why Oomine reacted so strongly. I have heard rumors about his having special feelings for Kirino. While I haven't been able to confirm them, though, personal observation, they just might be true. Okay, stop. This is the first time I've ever done this, but this is me talking. That's right, it's Anime Dude. This is the first time I've ever done in this series. It's because this is the first time I've ever felt like I needed to say something. And I'm sorry if this is weird. Tell me if you guys enjoy this or not, or don't want me to speak at all, and you just want me to read the thing. That's fine. This is a Let's Read, so I'd be fine with just reading it. But I really want to say something right now. Why did this hurt her so much? Why did this make... Oh, that's true. Why did it make Oomine beat me up? And people said I went too far. That doesn't make any sense. I only confessed to Kokone. I'm not even dating... I've never been dating Otonashi-san. There's never been a point where I've been dating Otonashi-san. So why in the world is everyone so upset that I even confessed to Kokone? And even so with that, why asking such a simple question... Sure, it may hurt her, but why would that be the worst thing in the world to do? Is because I did it in front of people, and I was like, hey, what was your answer? I was just asking, and it probably sounded genuine. It probably sounded like a genuine answer, like a genuine question. He actually was asking the question, as he said. It wasn't fake. It wasn't to start her up or anything. It was just a genuine question he was asking. So why in the world would Kokone... I understand maybe why Kokone would get a little sad, but it doesn't make sense. I think it's Daya. I think Oomine is Daya. I think so. I don't know why he would get so upset from just that, even if he did like her that much. Kazuki, me, is Daya's friend. We've been friends for a long time. It doesn't make any sense. It's like I have... Daya's a bro, and so is Haruaki. If they are my two good friends, sure, they get mad at me. And they'd be like, okay, dude, that was too far. You shouldn't have done that. They are the only ones who should have a standpoint, like a viewpoint on this whole debacle. They should be the only ones saying something to me and telling me that what I did was wrong. There's no reason why anyone else should say anything or do anything about it. Especially since we're just a friend group. We're just the 4-friend group. It's always been us together. It doesn't make any sense for any outsiders to even plague us with any of their different opinions. It doesn't make sense that these friends who have been friends with me for what I can only assume has been a really long time, what it seems like. I think Daya's our longest friend. I could be wrong on that. Haruaki has been a good friend at least for a few years. And I think Daya has as well. And Kokone. I think they're all really good friends of Haruaki. Yeah, Kazuki. Sorry, I said Haruaki. But yeah, Haruaki as well, I guess. But Kazuki, right? So why in the world are they so upset by this? It seems like a friend... It seems like almost like something that could damage the friendship but not ruin it. Unless this was just a face friendship, like we were acquaintances and we weren't really friends. But instead we talked a lot. It seems like we were closer friends than that. So why would this ruin us so badly? Because from my understanding, Kazuki would never act like this in any other point in time. He's never acted like this. He's not that kind of person to be like this. So Kokone, instead of responding in a sad way, I think she would respond in a kind of questioning way. Why are you being like this? This is weird. This isn't you, Kazuki. Why are you doing this? I don't know. I think this whole situation is just odd and everyone's overreacting. He seemed to have just gone over the whole instance right here. Because he went over this. And then that's immediately after Daya beat me up. I woke up. Kazuki woke up. So it was Kazuki from that point forward. And from what we know, nothing else bad has happened since then. Other than when we were with Otonashi-san. So why is everyone so upset? It doesn't seem like a big enough deal to make the whole school upset with me. Or even just one class. It's a friend. It's kind of like a friend problem, like a trouble between friends, not something that really involves anybody else. Tell me what you guys think, because I am completely lost. Back to the story. Sorry for the interruption. Back to your regularly scheduled program. However, I still don't know why Omine reacted so strongly. I've heard rumors about his having special feelings for Kirino. While I haven't been able to confirm them, though, personal observation, they just might be true. I didn't directly witness what I'm about to describe, but I realized that subsequently after talking to Haruki Usi. It seems that when I was attacked by Omine, most of the members of Class 2-3 were assuming that the quarrel started because Kazuki confessed to Kirino. The fly in the ointment was that Maria Otonashi then showed up. Kazuki followed her outside without hesitation, as if he were clinging to her. He completely ignored Kokone Kirino's feelings, those of the crying girl he had apparently confessed to, and even after this incident, Kazuki Hoshino kept accompanying Maria Otonashi as if nothing had happened. It's only natural that his classmates were enraged when he deserted the oh-so-popular Kokone Kirino. However, since Hoshino had no other choice but to rely on Maria Otonashi, he couldn't act independently. Okay, break. This one's going to be a shorter break. Just gonna... Okay, so I guess it makes sense because he's mad. Like, Kokone's really mad because, like, he went with Maria afterwards, even though he doesn't really like... And also, Kokone's response was, I just want to be friends or whatever, if I remember correctly. It wasn't anything, like, big. I mean, she didn't want to be with me, it seemed like. From what she said to me. So why is she so upset about it? I know I sound like one of those dense main characters, but I feel like those were her actual feelings, weren't they? Obviously, this is only in, like, an anime-type world where people would be so, like, oh, so popular, Kokone Kirino. No one's like that in real life. No one cares that much about one person they aren't even friends with. Let's get back to it. Kazuki Hoshino is gradually losing his everyday life. Not through my direct actions, but due to his own behavior. Heck, this is just too great. I informed the teacher that I need to visit the restroom and walk out to the corridor, where Maria Otonashi is already lying in wait. She speaks while frowning. Why are you smiling? I suppose I started grinning without realizing it. Probably because you were waiting for me, Otonashi-san. Trying to act like Kazuki Hoshino, Yuhei Ishihara. She could detect that I'm Yuhei Ishihara that easily? No. What's really amazing is that she rushed to Class 2-3 right after her identity shifted. Probably because she realized that Kazuki Hoshino had switched to me. I assume they made some kind of arrangement to alert her to the switch. Follow me, she says. Where are we going? She smiles faintly in response to my question. What's with that question? Didn't you announce your destination yourself already? Huh? You're going to the restroom, aren't you? May 2nd, Saturday, 9:14. Are you really okay with this? Won't we both get in trouble when people find out that you're in here with Kazuki Hoshino? I've been led into a stall in the girls' restroom. Maria Otonashi sneers, seeing how naturally I entered the stall. What's going on in your head? The truth is that the third floor restroom in Building 2 are hardly ever used, because only special classrooms are found here, even less so while classes are being held like now, but I don't get why she went out of her way to bring me here. I guess so. We'd get suspended from school and singled out by our classmates. Throwing your hands up already? Shall we make some fuss then? Why don't you try? She says unimpressingly and sneers at me. Looks like she saw right through my bluff. I'm the one who's going to end up in Kazuki Hoshino's shoes in the near future. I've already damaged his environment more than originally planned. I can't allow myself to aggravate his position further. Okay, Yuhei Ishihara. Open Kazuki's cell phone. What's this all of a sudden? Open the image file that's third from the top in the data folder. I feel the urge to resist, but since picking a fight over this would just be pointless, I do what she told me. I open the image file. It's a picture of a lovely girl in pajamas. Probably self-shot. Tell me who this is, she asked. Why are you asking me? I won't tell you since it would destroy the point. What a frank answer. A frank answer? What a frank answer. Look at it again. It's a girl I don't know, but telling her that would probably be to my disadvantage. I shift my attention to the background. It's definitely a hospital room. Come to think of it, there was a major accident nearby about 2 months ago. Could she be the victim? In that case, her name would be... I don't remember. Oh, well, I'll just try a shot in the dark. It's Kazumi Mogi. I try saying the name the underwear-only girl Luka Hoshino mentioned previously. Too bad, you're wrong. It didn't work, huh? I smiled bitterly. Okay, I didn't know her name, but so what? That was a lie. Huh? Saying you were wrong was a lie. It is indeed Kazumi Mogi. Although it seems you have never seen her in person, Maria-2nd says, utterly poker-faced. That was dirty of you, no? How so? You are naive to think that you could get away with a guess, correct or not. Anyway, here's another question for you. How are Kazuki Hoshino and Kazumi Mogi related? I have no clue what she's trying to accomplish with all these questions. I guess she's deliberately concealing her intent from me. I grope for an open-ended answer. They're friends. And? So Maria-2nd won't let me get away with such a vague answer after all. What can I say when I don't even know who Kazumi Mogi is? This is an obvious and natural answer. Since I already told her that I don't know the girl, this answer should be perfectly safe. You don't know who Kazumi Mogi is. Even so, Maria-2nd makes it sound like a fatal mistake. Didn't I say so from the start? I've never seen the girl in this photo. Yes. You've never seen her. That's what you said. But how is never seen equivalent to do not know? You're not making any sense. I've never seen her, so there's no way I'd... Wait. That's not true. I see. I now have a fairly decent grasp of your true identity. You are not a member of Class 2-3. That was what she was been shooting for. That girl, Kazumi Mogi, probably hasn't come to school because she's been hospitalized, which explains why I haven't seen her. The students of Class 2-3, however, know about her, even though they may not have actually met her, because she's their classmate, and the mysterious individual whose seat is always open. Right. The intention of those questions was to narrow down the pool of suspects. Huh. To be honest, it seemed like that Ryu Miyazaki was the owner. Looks like I was wrong, though. You're not a member of Class 2-3 after all. Ryu Miyazaki? Why should you bring him up? Don't tell me that he acted on his own because I was unable to give him instructions today while I captured Maria-2nd. Or was captured by her. You. No. To be accurate, the owner has to be someone who's not our classmate but knows us well. I don't think there are many people who know that much about us. He's a person Kazuki and I can easily recognize. Right? Of course, I don't reply. There's just one more possible clue I have found, which is about Yuhei Ishihara. Ryu Miyazaki called Yuhei Ishihara his mother's lover. I was trying to understand why he mentioned that, and I came to the following logical conclusion. Maria-2nd declares even, not conclares, why'd I say that? With conviction. Yuhei Ishihara does not exist. I held my breath. You didn't care about what name to use, but either you or Ryu Miyazaki decided to use it to your advantage, concealing the identity of the owner by making us believe that Yuhei Ishihara really existed, right? And you chose a messy relationship involving a lover, because it would be hard to investigate such a matter, right? He doesn't exist, therefore we can conceal him, huh? I see. She's almost right, but she's still off. Yuhei Ishihara is indeed Ryu Miyazaki's mother's lover. However, you could also say that he doesn't exist anymore. After all, Yuhei Ishihara is already dead. What? Was that it? If so, is it my turn now? Maria-2nd scowls. I guess my sudden question is making her wary. What do you want to address? The topic should attract your interest, I think. Perhaps it's even something you've been trying to tickle out of me. I smile as I speak. I'll explain how the 7 night in mud works. May 2nd, Saturday, 10 o'clock. I look at each object within my field of vision. collect data, and regain my identity as Kazuki Hoshino. The sky. Concrete. The ground. Sand. Maria Otanashi, my hand. Kazuki Hoshino. This place is the rear of the school building. I am me. I'm getting used to it, since I've switched identity several times already, but precisely because I'm getting used to it, I realize what I am experiencing is nothing less than a temporary death. I completely vanish during the time when I'm not myself. I don't even dream. This is a death that approaches me step by step. If I don't destroy the 7 Night in Mud by May 5th, I'm going to disappear forever. In other words, I'll die. Kazuki, the girl in front of me asks. I nod slightly, or silently even, but realize that this won't suffice, and add, Yes, Aya? Otanashi-san looks at her watch and frowns. I notice a worn-out electric guitar lying on her foot. This thing? I brought it over from the Light Music Club. It's a really old guitar, but since all the strings are new, I suppose it's still in regular use. I bet you took it without permission. You know, I fiddled around with the guitar inside the Read-Utsuro classroom to kill time. Otanashi-san picks up the guitar and starts to play. She does so quite skillfully. In contrast, I can barely play an F chord. She quickly stops playing and holds the guitar out to me. Huh? Play. I know that you received your sister's guitar as a hand-me-down. No. I can't play very well, you know. I don't care. Play the guitar while I'm speaking. If you do so, I'll know when you switch to Yuhei Ishihara. I see. So that's why she brought this guitar. I'm a very poor guitar player, so it's kind of embarrassing, but I eventually start playing a famous song from a classic rock group that I remember from my practice book. I'm surprised you know that I've got my sister's guitar. There's nothing I don't know about you, she boldly says. Did you not forget anything you learned within the rejecting classroom, Aya? That question suddenly pops up in my head, so I ask her as I continue to clumsily play the guitar. Well, I remember everything. No, to be exact, I definitely forgot some things since there was such a long stretch of similar occurrences, but I basically remember almost everything. Otanashi-san frowns at me. Was your experience different, perhaps? Yeah, I don't remember much. My memories from back then are fleeting. More snapshots and blurry images than anything else. It's like how you can't remember the face of every person you pass by in town. After hearing what I have to say, Otanashi-san's eyes widen. She stands completely still. Huh? What's wrong? No. Upon noticing her obvious confusion, I feel even more perplexed than she seems to be. So you remember almost nothing of what we did together inside the box? Well, yeah. I see. Otanashi-san remains silent for some reason. As I wait for her to continue, I look at her, but she hurriedly averts her eyes. Now that you mention it, it's entirely plausible. There's no way you'd retain your memories the way I did. Because you aren't an owner. I see. Everything finally makes sense. So that's why... She continues murmuring with eyes averted. That's why you call me Aya. Huh? Never mind. Otanashi-san regains her self-confidence and scowls at me. Hey, Kazuki. You stopped playing the guitar. I hurriedly start playing again. Since I've lost my pace, I start from the beginning of the song. Geez. Because you were babbling about trivialities, I couldn't get to the important stuff. Sorry, so back to relevancy? Let's see. Since I still don't know whether I can believe what Yuhei Ishihara told me, I'll leave that out for now. I want to discuss this new box while I'm still confident that you're Kazuki Hoshino. I nod and ask her to begin. You should understand that there are different kinds of boxes. It might be a flawed explanation, but just to keep it simple, there are boxes that operate eternally, and there are boxes that operate externally. While the rejecting classroom was more of an eternal box, the 7 Night in Mud is more of an external box. What's the difference? An eternal box arises if an owner considers his wish to be impossible in the real world. For example, Kazumi Mogi, who was the owner of the rejecting classroom, didn't believe that it was possible to relive the past, so she created a space removed from the real world where she could believe in her wish. Mogi crammed herself and her classmates into a box where she could believe that her wish was possible. I nod while continuing to play the guitar. An eternal box, or external box, arises when an owner believes that his wish can occur in the real world. The owner of the 7 Night in Mud seems to believe that his wish can be granted through the power of the box. Indeed, taking over a body may seem plausible in real life, which means that there's no need to create a special space outside of reality that's linked to why I still cannot properly perceive this box. I'll need some time to digest this, but in short, a box will become external if you believe that your wish can actually come true in the real world, and internal otherwise. Yes, that's it, more or less. If we rated them numerically with a maximum count of 0, the rejecting classroom would get an internal score of 9, and the 7 Night in Mud would get an external score of 4. The higher the external score, the more that box will affect reality. It's obvious that the influence of the rejecting classroom was almost non-existent, since the classmates involved can't even remember it. In other words, does that mean that the 7 Night in Mud is different? I notice the cruel nature of my current situation. I'm scorned by all the classmates. What's more, my relationship with Daya, Kokone, and Hoyuki have all been messed up. My ruined everyday life. Exactly, it won't return. The hand I was playing the guitar with comes to a halt. The sounds coming from the guitar vanish. It won't return. My everyday life won't return? My everyday life will remain corroded by this preternatural? So it doesn't exist anymore? The thing I want to regain doesn't even exist anymore. The moment I realize this, my sight turns black, as if all the breakers of this world had been turned off in a single blow. I mean, I no longer have any goal. It's pointless to destroy that box. I completely lose sight of everything. I don't care anymore. I start staggering away. Otonashi-san says something, and I say something in reply. I have no idea what she said or what I said, and I don't care. I want to scream, but even when I scream, there's no one who can rescue me. May 2nd, Saturday, 11 o'clock. I'm in a convenience store for some reason, holding a weekly manga magazine. I check the time on Kazuki Hoshino's cell phone. I should be in my 3rd period class right now, so why am I in a convenience store? I look around, but Maria Otonashi is nowhere to be seen. What's the meaning of this? They wouldn't have broken up, would they? I worry that this might be a trap, but I can't ignore this opportunity to get in contact with Ryu Miyazaki. I enter his phone number from my memory. The phone rings repeatedly. Well, he should be in class, so he won't be able to answer the phone right away. I cancel the call and clear the outgoing call log. Ryu Miyazaki immediately calls me back. Hello? Ryu Miyazaki.
Hey, why are you using my full name?
He asks, seeming a bit ill-tempered. I am no one. Someone you remember might have called you something different. I thought this was most natural for me.
Uh-huh. So you want something from me, right? What is it?
Don't you mind that you have classes right now?
You're the most important thing.
What a thing for the class president to say. But I'm happy that you feel this way. Okay. I'd like to discuss how we should proceed.
I don't think we should talk about that at school. Why don't you come over to my apartment?
I don't mind, but you realize that I can't tell whether 12 is my turn or not, right?
That's why I proposed my apartment. We just have to restrain Kazuki Hoshino in the place before 12. 13 is your turn again, right?
Okay, so let me teach you a nice way to restrain someone. It's actually how Maria Otonashi tricked me, you know? I explained what she did with handcuffs and foot cuffs.
Cuffs, huh? Sounds good. So, can you buy some before we meet?
Sure.
You know where I live, right?
Yeah, later then. I end the call and clear the call history with a few swift clicks. Ryu Miyazaki's apartment, huh? Now that I think about it, this will be my first time there. Until now, I held back from going there myself. How ironic that I'm only able to go there now that I am in a different body. May 2nd, Saturday, 11:47. Ryu Miyazaki's apartment is in a 2-story wooden building, far less luxe than the complex that Maria-2nd lives in. There are certainly no features like self-locking doors. I walk to his room on the 2nd floor and ring the bell. Ryu Miyazaki promptly shows his face.
Here.
Here. A present. I hand him a brown paper bag containing a pair of handcuffs and foot cuffs. Ryu Miyazaki accepts it, with almost no change in expression. I take off my shoes and enter the room. It's about the size of a 6 tatami mats. Although it's very cramped, he's been keeping things neat and tidy. As I sit down on the floor, I'm amazed by how much space his computer alone takes up. Ah, right. I've been waiting to complain. You acted on your own and told Maria-2nd some unnecessary things, didn't you? Ryu Miyazaki smiles wryly.
The first thing out of your mouth is a complaint?
That girl picked up on your attempt to conceal our link. She already noticed that we are working together.
So it's as I expected.
I raise an eyebrow, because he seems to speak without a qualm. I don't get it. So you deliberately revealed that you're my ally?
Duh, I guess so.
Hey, that sounds like a really lame excuse to me.
Maria-2nd got suspicious, so just because I tried to reach out to Kazuki Hoshino. She's not some regular girl, so I concluded that I wouldn't be able to deceive her.
But there's no need to go out of your way to tell her.
Your goal is to make Kazuki Hoshino submit, right?
So what of it?
Otonashi will definitely block your efforts, because you cannot attack Kazuki Hoshino directly. In other words, you can only attack Kazuki Hoshino via Otonashi. But as you know, she's brilliant. Any attack through Otonashi would be easily parried.
You do have a point, you know, but...
So I came up with the idea that you just need someone who can attack Kazuki Hoshino directly, instead of via Otonashi. Of course, I'm the only one who can handle that.
True.
That's why it's best to clearly demonstrate that I'm on your side. But if I had made it too easy for her to find out, she would have been suspicious. That's why I chose the roundabout approach,
he says indifferently. A wry smile spontaneously floats onto my face. I didn't think he'd be so thorough. He's proven even more reliable than I imagined.
I already have a plan up my sleeve.
Tell me more.
We'll show him a corpse, he suggests.
Do you really think that will make him fall into despair? Sure, he'd be shocked after seeing a corpse, but you know. Upon hearing my objections, Ryu Miyazaki starts to grin.
And what if we told him that he just killed that person?
This is most interesting. I start to smile as well.
Don't you worry. I'll make Kazuki Hoshino fall into despair without fail,
Ryu Miyazaki declares as he ransacks the bag I gave him and throws me a pair of handcuffs.